Shalom, it's Rabbi David Barron with a Torah Talk for this week. First of all, I want to thank all of you for sending out this inspirational Torah Talk message to all of your family and friends. I've gotten responses from England and Australia and around the world on how people have found these messages to be uplifting and inspirational, especially during this time that we're all going through. Some exciting news to report again. Our synagogue will be opening its wonderful preschool, Temple of the Arts campus of the preschool with Le Petit Gan starting this fall. And while enrollment may be somewhat restricted in the beginning, we expect it to grow and be a wonderful resource for our congregation and for all the young families with little toddlers, for your children and grandchildren to learn and grow in that environment. Also, we're very excited that we'll be holding, in addition to our live stream service, we'll be holding a live service outdoors, socially distanced, and people wearing masks, of course. And we're looking forward to celebrating Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, the Jewish High Holy Days, with you. Right now, I'd like to talk a little bit about the Torah portion. It's the portion of Akev, and it continues the story of the farewell speeches of Moses to the children of Israel. Moses is taking leave of them, and so he wants to impart a powerful message to each and every one of them to remember God, to remember their destiny, to remember that they've been chosen to give the message of the Torah to humanity. Now, chosenness is often misunderstood. Some people hear the term, the Jewish people consider themselves the chosen people, and they think they're superior and better than everyone else. Far from the truth. The reality is the chosenness refers to the choosing. We choose the Torah. We choose the mission of bringing the light of the Torah and its teachings to humanity. And this Torah portion is very rich with those descriptions. One of them refers to the laws relating to the stranger, to the widow, to the orphan, to the poor, to the people who are neglected, that it's our responsibility to care for them. And the idea of being conscious of the needs of a stranger, for you were once strangers in the land of Egypt, is very compelling. In fact, if we look at different cultures, there was always the host and the visitor, the guest. The word host actually refers to someone who is an army. A great host surrounds me. And the concept of hostilities, warfare, or taking hostages, again, coming from the root of that word host. And the person who's the stranger or visitor who comes to live with you or be a guest in your home is someone you have to treat kindly and with respect and encourage them to come and partake and participate in your rituals, in your practices. To me, one of the greatest ways of combating anti-Semitism, which many of us are concerned about rising anti-Semitism around the world, is to invite someone who's not of the Jewish faith into your home for a meal, or to share an experience with them, or celebrate a holiday like Hanukkah with them or Passover. Anyone who's experienced a true Jewish observance and is welcomed into our environment can never become an anti-Semite. It's unthinkable. And when they encounter others who are anti-Semitic, they'll say, wait a minute, I know that person. That Jewish person is not what you think. They welcomed me into their home and shared their holiday with me. So think about that as a means of combating anti-Semitism on a very personal level. But the Torah reading also, according to scholars, is a recapitulation of the duties of the Jewish people. And so often we forget our duties and responsibilities, not just to the widow and the orphan and the poor, but to one another. And it's so important that we keep that consciousness in our mind. What is our duty and our responsibility to each other? Well, according to scholars, as I said, the book of Deuteronomy was quote unquote rediscovered during the reign of King Josiah, when the people had become idolaters and had gone far afield from the practices of Judaism. And when they heard these words, the farewell speeches of the great leader Moses, they wept with recognition of an earlier time in their history when they had that purity of intention and direction. You know, something really important that all of us have experienced during this coronavirus is we've spent a lot of time looking through old photographs, and we find pictures of ourselves during an innocent time or at a time when we remember what our mission and our purpose was. And as we look at those photographs, it rekindles a desire on our part to reconnect with that time when our first response to someone wasn't suspicion or skepticism, but it was openness and compassion. And that's what our Torah teaches us to do, to open to one another with a full heart, and in that way live more fully every day, every week, every year of our lives. This is the blessing of life, to be open to one another. I hope you can take that message to heart and share it with your family and friends. Shabbat Shalom.